Welcome to today's replay, Defense of Naval Station Newport. Along the way, I'll give some tips on how to succeed at scenarios and this mission. Following the replay, you can take a look at how my ship, the Leander, was configured. Now on to the battle. Our team includes 1 battleship, 4 cruisers, and 2 destroyers. 6 of the members are from my clan, and we formed the division prior to entering the scenario. As the battle begins, the upper left-hand corner shows our primary task. Don't complete that, no stars. That's for all scenarios. So our job right now is to hold out until an Allied attack squadron arrives and save at least 1 store installation or support ship. If you look on the mini-map, you'll see a green area in the lower right-hand corner. That's the base area. Within that, you can also see a green small area right at the very edge of the landmass. If your health gets too low, you can go down there and a support ship will start repairing your ship. Try not to get all your forces too far out, because if you do and one slips through, it's a bit like the base in a standard battle. They get in there and right away you're going to be in trouble because the main attack will come. A whole bunch of bots will show up early, and you'll have to contend with these ships and the others. If you can keep them out, you have 10 minutes to destroy all these ships. If you're not familiar with divisions, you'll see that most of the ships in the lineup in the upper part of the screen are in yellow. Those are my teammates on my division. The 1 green ship is the ship that Matchmaker assigned to fill out our 7, and my ship shows in white. The same color scheme is used on the mini-map. And it's starting to pick up a good bit. Right now, the main thing is knock out those ships and keep them out of the green area. So it's a good idea not to get too far away from the area and get isolated from the rest of your team or the support ships, because you need to defend those. You notice also in the upper left-hand corner a bunch of secondary tasks are showing up. If we can keep all the installations inside alive, we get an extra star for that. Keeping them out of the perimeter before the main attack starts, another. Ensure at least 3 ships in the task force survive. That's our ships that we brought in, not the bots that are added to augment our force. And destroy all enemy ships before the main attack starts. Getting all of the secondary tasks will get you the full 5 stars and all the goodies that come with it. Now you'll notice the support ship has reached battery 1. The support ship is going to go through down there and restore batteries. Along the way, there's a green circle around it. If you get too weak, you can head there and get your health points back. That is a key to keeping all the ships alive. So if you take turns playing point, that's a good thing. If you have a ship like a destroyer or a Leander with smoke, deploying the smoke, as I've done here, will keep you and your teammates from getting hammered by the ships that are coming in. Be careful, because destroyers are going to be throwing torpedoes, and those battleships sitting out there are going to take a bit more work to kill. They're also trying to nail the surveillance stations out there. You can see that right now, almost where my torpedoes are focused. And just like in the now defunct method of battle called Bastion, those are allies that are trying to go ahead and kill the enemy ships. They're outside the perimeter, so you don't necessarily need to get all the way out there to defend them. And you'll notice they have an aircraft carrier out there. We're going to want to try to get that, because that goodie is out there laying torpedo bombers, as you can see. One of the reasons I picked the Leander for this scenario was it had smoke, which can help cover allies. It has good long torpedoes, they're 9 clicks, and it's got a pretty fast rate of fire. It can also be a bit fragile, so I'm trying not to get out there where I'm going to get citadel or possibly obliterated. So far we're doing pretty well. None of the ships have gotten in or close, and the team is all working together to try to keep them blocked. But they are closing in. That battleship is getting in there pretty tight. But one of our destroyers has fish out on it, and hopefully, yep, there it goes. Cleveland isn't a bad ship to bring along on these either, because almost all of them feature air, and Cleveland has good anti-air. The team's doing a pretty good job of blotting the rush of ships, but very soon we're going to be confronted with the fact that our relief people are going to show up, and one of those is an aircraft carrier. It generally comes in around D10, so if you don't have any ships anywhere near there, you can end up in a situation where it gets obliterated by enemy ships who are also going to show up and be following it. So far we haven't failed on any of the subtasks, so we have a good chance of making all 5. Coming up on 7 minutes into the battle. If we can hold out for another 10 without them coming in, we won't have to worry about the main attack until the maximum amount of time has elapsed. But that will happen at that time. It will happen quicker if you can't keep all those ships out of the main zone. You can have a full division in this, and if you do, including adding people during the scenario, and they have voice chat, you can actually communicate in real time with voice. You enable that in settings. And we actually have that for our ships, and now we're down 2 ships. We've lost 2 cruisers while this has been going on. It gets pretty hot and heavy.
The ship is on fire.
And one of the issues there is people didn't come down to take advantage of the Liberty ship. You can see that it has moved around, and there are now 2 green brighter circles inside the large green circle. If you get too low on health, you can go in there and start building it up. Of course, if you're low on ships and it's getting close, you may not be able to go all the way in there. And if you get too far out, and most of our team has, that can also interfere. It's a ways back there, and if you're under fire, you may not make it. Right now they're down to 2 ships, one of which we can't see, so we're all focusing on that destroyer. And we've got just about a minute and a half where the automatic new set of forces is coming in. So if we can get both of those ships down, we'll have succeeded in one of the primary or secondary tasks, and we'll have worked on getting our 5 stars. All we got to do is knock this guy out in the next minute and 10 seconds. So looks like we're in good shape. This would be a good time for any of our weaker ships to go ahead and get in there and get some health. I'm doing pretty good because another advantage of the Leander is it can carry both the health party and the repair party. So I can do a bit of my own healing out in the world.
Enemy cruiser destroyed. Reporting.
And here comes our aircraft carrier into the combat zone. You can see it right there at basically E10 starting to come in. Very quickly, you're going to see a couple of enemy ships after it. So our gazinier is working to get over there and give it a hand, because it's going to be under pretty close combat very quickly. Meanwhile, we've got 4 seconds until the next wave comes in. There we go. So one of the tricks is making sure that aircraft carrier lives. We've now completed all enemies before the second attack begins. We've got to maintain the on-store installations, and we have 4 ships, so if we lose 2 more, we're going to lose that star. And we have to defend the aircraft carrier. If she goes down, we end up losing a star as well. So repositioning, and as you can see, they're coming in a broad stretch, and we're down to 4 of our own ships. So defending it's one task, but if you look, we also have to defend the installation, so we're being pressed on all sides, and we don't have a whole lot of ships. So it's getting a little tense. I'm going to get some torpedoes out here. That lets me stand off a bit. These guys don't dodge torpedoes as well as real players, it seems. At least that's been my experience. They're not going to ignore them totally, but they're a little easier to hit. And the Leander, being a British cruiser, can go ahead and fire individual torpedoes, so you can fire a tight string. A little bit isolated from each other, so we got to watch out so we don't get focus fired. Our Arizona is out there somewhat by himself. And our Farragut is trying to keep the cruisers away from the Lexington, who has just about made it back into docking. Nuremberg has gone down, that's good. But we've got a full-strength battleship closing in hard. And a couple of a cruiser and a battleship coming in from the west. So it's going to get real busy real fast. Our battleship is far enough away that I can afford to just throw some torpedoes in that direction without real risk of it hitting. Let's see if I can come back around and work on this cruiser and this destroyer before they can get in too close. Down to 3 ships, 1 more, and we miss one of the stars. You see the battery right there helping me with the Mayoko. But they've got 3 of them focused firing on me. As we lose ships, we're getting targeted. But our aircraft carrier is starting to help now. So we've got our own torpedo bombers and dive bombers up. Get this Mayoko before he gets in too close, and I can focus on the Kong. Their destroyer's now smoked up. And we are now down to 2 ships, and you can see failure, task force suffered serious losses panel up in the center of the screen. But we now, if you look down in the lower edge of the map, we've gotten some reinforcements in to help. And you can see how this does help target practice. I've done 107,000 in damage already. But it's getting a little tense. I've gone ahead and deployed my health party and dodging torpedoes. And I'm close enough that I can detect the Moss with my hydro, so I'm going to try to knock him out in his smoke. That didn't sound good. There goes the Moss. Second, because he's burning. Yep. Okay. I'm going to use torpedoes and see if I can dodge this Azuma before he obliterates me, because look at that. I'm the only one of our human ships left. So I need to stay alive, and I'm in awful close. But my torpedoes are just about to take him out. If I can dodge the Congo and turn around here real fast, I can work on taking out that other battleship. The important thing now is keeping the installations and me alive and the aircraft carrier. As long as at least one of those installations lives, or the ships, we get the flag, or the single star, I mean. You do have to watch out for friendly torpedoes sometimes, because our aircraft carrier, the bot, is throwing them out there. I'm going to try to sneak up on this battleship. I'm detected. He's on fire. He's got the installation and the Lexington working on him. I'm going to try to get some fish out. With luck, he'll be dead before they get there. And I'm just about to get my other mega torpedoes up. We got one battleship left to take out. And he's almost dead. You can see the torpedoes just were working on him. Either my shot, yep, they got to him before my shots did. So we have completed the primary task. Our only shortcoming was not having 3 ships at the end of the battle, so we get 4 stars. Everyone on the team gets awards based on the number of stars earned. 1 star for completing the battle itself successfully, and for each subtask, an additional star is awarded. In our case, we got 4 stars, so we got flags, camouflage, and a commander with 10 skill points. If we'd gotten the 5th star, we would have gotten 24 hours of premium account time each. Each player also got awards based on the amount of effort they had put into the battle. With just under 143,000 points of damage, I was awarded 297,000 exchange credits, 4752 ship XP, and 238 free XP. I also won 3 awards. Shield for having 20 allied ships survive in operations. Will to win, which is like solo warrior in random battle, by being the last person standing and having completed in addition a secondary task after everybody else had perished. And finally, assistant, which is similar to Confederate in random battles, for inflicting at least 10% damage on half the ships on the bot team. Thank you for watching, and thanks to my clanmates in DD214 for taking part in the battle. Feel free to leave comments below, and I hope you'll subscribe. If you want details on how the Leander was configured for use in the battle, that immediately follows this section of the video. Again, thanks for watching, and see you next time. The British light cruiser HMS Leander sports 152mm dual-mounted guns in a 4x2 configuration and 61-knot, 8-kilometer range torpedoes in a 2x4 configuration. She has a top speed of 32.5 knots, and her detection range is 8.8 kilometers. Our Leander captain currently has 12 active skill points: priority target, expert marksman, smokescreen expert, survivability expert, and concealment expert. Our upgrades include Main Armaments Modification 1, Aiming Systems Modification 1, the Special Upgrade Hydroacoustic Search Modification 1, and Steering Gears Modification 2. Our consumables include Damage Control Party 2, Repair Party 1, Hydroacoustic Search 1, and Smoke Generator 2.